Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It's a beautiful Thursday evening here in the Bronx. Crowd filing in the Yankee Stadium where it is time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball tonight. It's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the final game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay. Let's take a look at the pitching matchup in the rubber game of this three-game set. For the Yankees, Clark Schmidt will get the start, 2-4 with an ERA of 6, more than a strikeout per inning. Kyle Gibson historically has not pitched well against the Yankees, 5-3 with a 4.27. Now, one of the people that Kyle Gibson has to worry about is going to be Gleyber Torres. He's always hurt the Orioles, had a couple of home runs against them last night. Last 10 games, he's been locked in.
He's been hitting the ball very well, and last night you saw it starting to come on, and then all of a sudden he got the Yankees on the board early with a long home run to the bullpen. And you know what, Gleyber Torres can be streaky at times. Maybe this is the start of a streak, and then later in the game he doesn't hook this one, he keeps it fair. You thought at this point this was going to be enough for the Yankees, but then you had that bad inning. But Gleyber Torres swinging the bat very well.
Last 10 games, Paul, multiple hits in 5 of those games, hitting .325, 3 homers, 6 ribbies, and OPS approaching 1. Now, the Yankee lineup today is a little bit different, so a couple of changes. DJ LeMahieu has been struggling of late, so he's not in the starting lineup, but Willie Calhoun and Greg Allen is. Meredith Marakovitz has more when we return.
Yankee Stadium. The Yankees lineup does look a little bit different tonight. No DJ LeMahieu. Instead, it's going to be Oswaldo Cabrera at third base. When I asked Aaron Boone about that decision, he assured me that LeMahieu is okay. He is available off the bench. He just wanted to give him the evening off. He expects him in the lineup all 3 games against the Padres this weekend. Also noteworthy, it's going to be Ben Rortvedt catching, and Greg Allen is in left field. Here's Aaron Boone with a little bit more on why they decided to go that direction.
Just wanting to have a lefty presence in our lineup today, and want to, you know, obviously he's gotten in there in that role already a couple times, but also want to, you know, important to try and get guys and keep guys sharp, and you know, hopefully give us a little spark at the bottom there.
And Clark Schmidt will get the ball tonight. Aaron Boone continues to say it's all about finding consistency on the mound. Will he be able to do it tonight? Well, first pitch coming your way after the break with Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill.
Presbyterian with world-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine. Stay amazing. Buy the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 or over. By FanDuel, make every moment more. And by NYU Langone Health, the #1 hospital in the U.S. for neurology and neurosurgery. Some of the managerial matchups, but boy, Billy Martin and Earl Weaver, that was something to behold. What a day, huh? This is something to behold. Beautiful day for baseball. The Yankees have taken the field for this rubber game. Let's take a look at the Orioles starting lineup brought to you by TikTok. Adam Frazier with the 3-run home run yesterday. He's the second baseman. He leads off. There's a lot of lefties in that lineup, and Clark Schmidt has troubles against them. Rushman, Santander, middle third, Mountcastle, Henderson, and Hayes. Bottom of the order, O'Hearn, McKenna, and Mateo. And they will face the Yankee right-hander, Clark Schmidt. Clark sports a 2-4 record with a significant ERA of 6, but he has more strikeouts than innings pitched. He has allowed 8 home runs. He's walked 16. So, Paul, let's check out the Nissan Pitchers Scouting Report.
Well, he needs a better fastball. Hitters are hitting .385 against his sinker and his cutter combined, and I think he needs to go more, if you ask me, both sides of the plate with a sinker that will set up that breaking ball, which hitters are only hitting 209 against this year. And a total of 5. You talked about it, Michael. The trouble. They have 5 lefties in the lineup tonight for the Orioles. So far, lefties are hitting 356 against him this year. And the good news, got to be a little good news, right?
Right, yeah.
He's coming off a good start. He was in Cincinnati, 5 innings, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, and he got a win in that game.
Well, let's take a look at the Yankee defense behind him. It's presented by Buick. Greg Allen's in left, Harrison Bader in center, and Aaron Judge over and right. In the infield, Oswaldo Cabrera gets to start at third, Anthony Volpe at short. Gleyber Torres plays second, Anthony Rizzo is at first. Ben Rortvedt gets to start behind the plate, catching Clark Schmidt. And, Paul, we have to know now the keys to the game brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, if you got to know them, Michael, I better get them out. Still out there. I mean, with the big comeback Tuesday, even with the big inning last night, they still got an opportunity to win this series. And go ahead, Michael. Get us into the game. I can't do it to you. I can't do it to you.
It's all right. Let's do it. Up and away. We are underway. Please go on, Paul.
All right. They got to keep swinging. I mean, the Yankees have been scoring runs. No problem. I mean, even last night in the loss, they scored 6. So, and see you in July.
Fly ball, center field. Right there is Bader. One away.
Let's talk about July, Michael.
July?
We're going to see you in July. That's the next time they play after tonight. These are important games with the tiebreakers. You see them here early July, late July there. And that's it with the new scheduling.
Yankees took 2 out of 3 in Baltimore in April. Now this is the rubber game of this 3-game set. And here's Adley Rutschman. 1-0. Edwin Moscoso is the home plate ump. Crew chief Chris Guccione is at first. David Rackley at second. Edwin Jimenez is at third. Let's take a look at what we have behind the plate with Edwin Moscoso. He's hitter friendly, Paul. Calls fewer inside strikes. Your kind of guy. The bleacher creatures are in great voice tonight as they roll out the roll call.
Didn't they used to call you up here once in a while?
They did. They did at the old ballpark, but now I'm old hat.
Too far away?
I guess. Yeah, that used to be fun. Made me feel important, but I'm not. So.
Did you like wave and tip your hat?
Oh, yeah, I tipped my my headphone.
There you go. Forgot, we don't wear hats up here.
Swing and a miss. Rutschman down on strike. So 2 lefties down against Schmidt.
Well, if you're Clark Schmidt and you watched the lineup last night, you got to know you got to make quality pitches. A good cutter right there. This lineup, once it gets going, it seems like they just continue to hit. And had a big 7th inning last night with 8 runs.
There's a strike. Santander was calling time. He was not granted time. He was looking at the umpire as the pitch was delivered. Oh, 2. That's funny because the cutter was such a big pitch for him in spring training. Then he started to get hit with it and went away from it. But he's using it a lot right now. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. It's 66 degrees, but it feels like 65. Wind is out of the northeast at 11 miles per hour. Humidity 33%, and there is no chance of rain tonight.
33%. You better get the chapstick. That's a little dry, Michael.
Playing in deep left field pretty much.
Yeah, I guess that coaching box doesn't mean much, huh?
That one is booted by Volpe, and Santander is going to reach. We'll see how that's scored.
Well, he was shading towards second base, went all the way across, but just you don't see that. Usually the plays that he makes, the ball's at him, he makes. And then kind of ill-advised throw there, too.
he might have got fooled a little bit. I mean, this is ruled a base hit, but it looks like it actually ricocheted off of Schmidt. Might have kind of screwed up his timing.
Mountcastle fouls it away. I'm not looking to get Anthony Volpe an error. I like the kid. How's that a hit?
I know one thing. If I hit it, I'd be very happy at first base getting a hit on that. Yeah,
you'd probably be a little surprised.
Exactly. Usually when the infielder gets in front of it, as Volpe did there, you know, it's pretty much an error. We gonna agree though. We both like the kid. That's the main thing, right?
Meredith had him on the batting practice show.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I suppose you like him too, right?
Very nice kid, Paul. One thing he said about big league life, he's surprised a little bit about some of the off the field stuff, especially how nice the hotels are this day.
Yeah, they do beat the Motel 6 that you're in the minor leagues, believe me.
But every day enjoying every game he is playing as shortstop of the New York Yankees. Still a learning process for Anthony Volpe.
3-1 on Mountcastle. Now we've seen some great plays by Volpe, and he's struggled just a little bit. That's one of the great plays.
You know, the one that was talked about was that right there. That could have been ended up being a double play. I mean, it's a hard hit ball, but if it is gloved, it's a double play. And believe me, the inning's different, and he knows it. I mean, he's a good fielding shortstop. I think defensively he's been sound all year. So, you know, you're not going to make every play. The ball was hit hard, but it did change the inning.
Here's Gunnar Henderson, first and second, 2 men out. So Schmidt was coasting, and now with 2 guys on, you're throwing pitches that you can't throw in the 6th or 7th inning. And the Yankee bullpen has really been stretched. Count 0-1. At this point last year, the Yankee bullpen had pitched 30 fewer innings than they have now.
It is amazing, and I was listening to your radio show how, you know, starters are expected 5 innings. Just give me 5 innings. Well, that does put a lot of pressure on guys, and I think that bullpen arms are even stressed even more than starters because of the back-to-back nights and then, you know, the up and down, and you know, you don't have the full 4-day rest in between your outings.
0-2 on Henderson. Well, Schmidt took 2 to 3 giant steps toward the Yankee dugout, which will not curry favor with the home plate umpire.
I'll tell you one thing, that is a very close pitch if it's not a strike. A little down, I guess, huh?
Going to the box. Another step. You know, he keeps doing that. He's not going to get close calls. And I don't think you're going to sell it on the umpire by doing that. Two. 3-2.
He said he's hitter friendly, huh, Michael? Been friendly this at bat.
Runners will go. 3-2, 2 outs. And a step off. Santander off second, Mountcastle off first. They'll be going. And the payoff. called the bat.
You see Henderson at 206. Came into this series hitting under 200. Big clutch double last night off the bench. We talked about he being the top prospect of all of the major leagues the last couple of years, but has had a ton of trouble against lefties, much better against righties.
And there's a walk that loads the bases. So to get an idea of what plays behind you mean, and it's not in the box score. So he's at 24 pitches right now with the bases loaded and 2 outs. So when Santander hit the ball up the middle, that Volpe didn't feel that was scored a hit, that was Schmidt's 12th pitch. Would have been a nice, easy, clean 1-2-3 inning. Now he's doubled that pitch total, and there's more to come. And they're high-stress pitches because the bases are loaded.
Yeah, no doubt. It is amazing to me, Michael, when you give teams extra outs, how much it comes back to haunt you. I mean, you get 27 outs. If you give them 29 or 30, chances are you're going to lose the game because they're going to come up with a big hit. And now you're at one of those innings we talk about a lot that it could change the outcome of this game now. And it could have been a very easy first inning.
And now the Yankees are getting over the home plate umpire Moscoso. And to be honest, the pitch was low that they're complaining about. Here's Austin Hayes. 1-0. Santander is at third. Mountcastle at second. Henderson's at first. Hayes at the plate. 1-0 count. Strike. 1-1. Both the Yankees and the Orioles know that this afternoon. Tampa Bay beat Toronto 6-3, taking 3 out of 4 from the Blue Jays. Things went so poorly for the Blue Jays in that series, they had a players-only closed-door meeting after the game. So 1-2 on Hayes. The 1-2. Knobbed off the end of the bat, foul.
That's what the Orioles do. I mean, they just grind out at bats, and sooner or later it puts so much pressure, especially in these big situations on pitchers, that sooner or later they'll make a mistake and give up a big hit. But Clark Schmidt trying to do everything he can to get off his mound without giving up a run here in the first.
Looks like he will. Popped up. Rizzo's there in foul territory. Puts it away. And that'll do it. It took 29 pitches. No runs. Bases left loaded. Yankees coming to bat. They put up a 0 on the top of the first. Now it's the Yankees' turn. Their starting lineup brought to you by TikTok, Torres, Judge, and Rizzo at the top. Bader cleaning up today and playing center. Willie Calhoun, the DH. Anthony Volpe moves up to 6. He'll play short. And Cabrera's at third. Rortvedt behind the plate. And Greg Allen brings his brand of speed to the lineup. He'll bat ninth and play left field. And that lineup is going to face Kyle Gibson. 10 starts for Gibson. This will be number 11. 5-3, 4.27. And we'll take a look now at the Nissan Pitcher Scouting Report.
Well, he is a veteran. This is his 11th season, the oldest player on the Orioles roster. They brought him in, and Nacho again, absolutely no success against the Yankees in his career. 1-6 with a 7.14 ERA, which is the highest career ERA against the Yankees, a minimum of 10 games. And he changed. He went from a slider. It only broke about 4.5 inches to a big sweeper. Everybody throws a sweeper this year, Michael, and it's over a foot of break. And hitters are only hitting 188 against him.
There's a base hit for Gleyber Torres. Paul told you on the open he's locked in. Takes it up the middle for a leadoff single. Let's check out the Orioles defense presented by Buick. You've got Hayes in left, McKenna in center, and Santander over in right. Infield, Henderson, Mateo, Frazier, and O'Hearn. That's third to first. Adley Rushman behind the plate, catching Kyle Gibson. Here's Judge, walked 3 times last night. Foul back, jumping early. 2 pitches, 1 a single up the middle, 1 foul back.
Tell you what, you saw a lot of those little leaguers running around the field today, and I bet on the way to the ballpark you can just hear those conversations, Michael. The kids like that are the baseball fans that are talking about Aaron Judge. This is the guy, I can't wait to watch him hit. Here's your opportunity, first time up.
0-2. Gibson deals inside. 1-2. Take a look at the Yankee leaders, brought to you by Citizens Made Ready. Who leads the American League in OPS? Well, it's that guy, the reigning MVP. Anthony Rizzo is 6th. Swing and a miss, got him on a breaking ball. Judge down on strikes.
Well, nothing fancy, nothing hard, but just good location and then a good. That's the breaking ball we talked about. Much more break than the short little slider he threw last year. And a swing and a miss from Aaron Judge.
Here's Anthony Rizzo. And a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
That's his 4-seam fastball, but Gibson will keep the ball on the ground. He leads the American League with 11 double plays. Ground ball outs that are turned into double plays, and he has the ability to sink the baseball, keep the ball in the infield.
1-1. Two and 1 on Rizzo. Rizzo had a tough night last night. 4 strikeouts and 5 at-bats.
He also had that single to left field, Michael, and you remember Hayes came in and it was a do or die play, ended up gloving it. That ball gets by him, different ball game, probably clears the bases.
Two and 2. Torres on first with 1 out. 2-2 count on Rizzo. Bader on deck. Ground ball to second. There's 1. And there's 2. A couple of bobbles there, but they still turn 2. 4-6-3 to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and because of this DP, nobody left on base. We played 1 at the stadium. Nothing. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Yankees at MLBshop.com. First inning in the books, 0-0. We go to number 2, and Ryan O'Hearn will lead off against Schmidt. 1-0. I mentioned last inning about the Blue Jays having a players-only meeting. I've never been in a players-only meeting because I'm not a player. So what goes on in those meetings?
Usually the veteran players start it, and then you pretty much get a voice from everybody. But it is between players. You don't want the manager or the coaches involved, just because you're the guys that aren't getting it done. It's not managers' decisions. It's not who's playing. It's the players on the field that aren't getting it done. And usually it's called by one of the team leaders, and it ends up being a 25 or 26 man conversation.
Does it get loud? I mean, do people confront each other?
Not really. I think you just try to get on the same page as far as why aren't we winning. And Toronto is expected to do great things talent-wise, and it's just there might be certain specific plays or games that are brought up that kind of put everybody in the same mode of why we aren't winning, and sometimes they help.
O'Hearn swings and misses, goes down on strikes. It's funny because Jeff Van Gundy once told me, he said, never call a team meeting if Michael Jordan's in next.
Yeah.
So do players call players only meeting when the next team is not that great?
Well, and the last point I want to make of this is a lot of times in those players-only meetings, things are brought up and talked about that you wouldn't talk about in front of the coaches and in front of the manager. So,
okay.
That's where it's a little bit different, where, there's no screaming and yelling, but things are brought up and people are held accountable that, you wouldn't do in front of the manager or the coaches.
Pitch is high. One and 0 on McKenna. Fouled away. And if you're wondering where the Jays are next, they are in Minnesota to meet the Twins this weekend.
So Michael Jordan won't be in town?
No. 2-1. Two and 2 on the number 8 hitter and the center fielder McKenna. Three and 2. Foul back. Second inning of the rubber game. Yankees in dramatic fashion won game 1 in 10 innings, and then an 8-run 7th inning yesterday for the Orioles. They came back from a 5-1 deficit to beat the Yankees in game 2. Strike 3. McKenna down looking.
Well, again, that's that borderline pitch that he did not get in the first inning. If you throw enough close pitches, see exact same spot, sooner or later you're going to get a couple of them. To me, Michael, this is it's an important game. It's two good teams that are trying to make a run to catch Tampa Bay, and both managers have decided to rest major players. You got DJ LeMahieu out of the lineup tonight. Cedric Mullins not in the lineup tonight. So, it's the long haul approach, and knowing the length of the season now that even in somewhat big games early in the year, you see guys get days off.
Popped up. Over there is Rizzo. Can't make the play. With Mateo up, take a look at the Bounty quick stats. Mateo, 113 average, 164 on base percentage, 129 slugging in May. All the lowest among major league qualifiers. Those are not great numbers. And he had great numbers in March and April. Grounded to short. Volpe backs up. Fires. Got him for the final out. So Schmidt bounces back. Works a 1-2-3 inning as we go to the bottom of the second. Hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. And tonight's picture was submitted by Christina. Her husband and son are always happiest when the Yankees win. Hope you're tuning in tonight, guys. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. Now we go to the bottom of the second inning. Beautiful night here in New York City. Yankees will be home for Memorial Day weekend. Some of our servicemen and women are throughout the crowd here at the stadium, and we thank them all for their service. And Harrison Bader leads off. And a strike.
Well, all of a sudden, that strike zone seems to get a little wider and a little lower now. You're seeing some pitches called off the plate, which you weren't before. Now we get a little arguing going on.
Did he go? Yes, he did, said Guccione. 0-2. And the pitch. Fouled away. Take a look at what Gibson's throwing. His arsenal on StatCast 3D by Google Cloud.
Yeah, again, he throws that sinker to keep balls on the ground, but then he has added everything else. An 11th season, a veteran pitcher, knows how to pitch, knows how to set up hitters. Talk about inconsistency. You always want consistency and things. Well, he got off to a great start. You know, I think he was 4-0. And then the Baltimore Orioles were scoring all kind of runs for him. Then he lost 3 in a row. Well, they didn't score a run. He got shut out 3 consecutive times. So, you know, a lot of times it's not the pitching. It's the run support behind you.
Well, he's the oldest player on a young team and one of the few free agent signings that the Orioles took on. Many people thought that they would spend a lot on the free agent market because they were ready to pop, and they thought it would be spending on pitching. It didn't happen, although they gave Gibson a 1-year, $10 million deal. Some veteran leadership and savvy. That's what they're looking for. Here's Calhoun. 0-1. He's coming off one of his best games of the season. He beat the Blue Jays in Toronto on Friday. 7 innings of 1-run ball. $35 years old. 1-1. Check out the American Express Level Up. Most starts, 262. Active players, only Greinke and Scherzer have more. Garrett Cole is right behind him. 2-1.
35 sounds pretty young. You know, then we talk about how old he is, oldest on the thing, and then you throw 35, and then you start doing the math. That seems pretty young, right?
Yeah, to us. You're in the Big Six, all right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a weird one, right?
I hit it in February.
Yeah.
Tried not to celebrate, then I wouldn't think about it.
Better have it than not.
Yeah, beats the alternative, that's for sure.
Chop to first. And they'll make the play as O'Hearn flips it to Gibson. 2 away. And here's the Yankees' number 6 batter in their order, Anthony Volpe. Sounded like it might have been a broken bat, but he's staying with it. 0-1. Ground ball to third, backhanded by Henderson. He sets and fires, and the backhand scoop by O'Hearn to get Volpe for the final out as the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. We go to the third. Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Josh Donaldson began a rehab assignment with AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre today, and Tommy Kahnle transferred his rehab assignment from Single-A Tampa to Scranton Wilkes-Barre AAA. So Meredith, time of arrival, what do you think?
Well, Josh Donaldson not too far off. I spoke to him the other day for the batting practice show, and he said he has passed all the tests, all the hurdles. It's now just about getting at bats and getting through games. Wants to get built up a little bit before coming back. Aaron Boone said that could potentially happen on this road trip. As far as Tommy Kahnle is concerned, he'll probably get one more outing, and then the Yankees will reevaluate.
So what's going on here? It looked like it was a disagreement between the umpire and Frazier, and out comes Brandon Hyde.
And you remember earlier in the game, Santander had a timeout and got a strike called, and I think Brandon Hyde has been on. Moscoso behind the plate, and now something, another questionable thing. He's just trying to get him on the same page with the time of the hitter being in the box.
So, Meredith, before you were rudely interrupted, you think Kahnle's close?
Kahnle is close. Last I spoke to him, he was pitching tonight for the Rail Riders, and then he'll likely get one more thereafter, and the Yankees will reevaluate. But he said he's ready. He feels ready. I said, is there anything specific that you've been doing that makes you think you're ready? And he said, it's simply after I throw. Not only immediately following the outing, but the next day. There's no soreness. He feels good to go. His body's been bouncing back well. As far as Josh Donaldson is concerned, he's in the game for the Rail Riders right now, 1 for 2. They're currently in the 4th inning.
Anything on Stanton?
Giancarlo Stanton had some more imaging done on his left hamstring. Aaron Boone said before the game that they did not have the results of that yet. Once they get that back, if it's favorable, he'll ramp up a little bit, and he could go on a rehab assignment within the next few days.
Schmidt knocks it down, gets the out at first to retire Frazier. How about Carlos Rodon?
Carlos Rodon was actually in the outfield today, Michael, playing catch. It seems like he might be just a few days away from throwing off the mound. And speaking to Rodon in the clubhouse on Tuesday, he said since he had those injections in his back, he has not felt any pain. So he continues to progress, but it is a slow process in building him up and getting him back.
Thank you, Meredith. Adley Rutschman takes outside, 1-0. Weird hack there by Rutschman. I would guess, Paul, that you were a disagreeable sort when you were on the DL then.
It was not a fun time as a player. You can't stop time. You just feel like you're missing games. You don't know what you have done. And I always felt like it took a while to get back to where you were. You see a lot of guys come off the DL or the IL now, and they're ready to go, which they're taking their time. I think the 10-day is a lot different than the old 15-day DL. It's just a lot of time to take off.
I remember something that Don Mattingly once told me. He said, you could be here, but if you're not playing, you don't feel like you're part of the team.
Absolutely. You just, you're getting your work in, and then the game starts, and you just feel like nothing because you're not part of it.
Ground ball, backhanded nicely by Rizzo, flips to Schmidt, 2 outs.
Well, Anthony Rizzo being Anthony Rizzo, making it look easy. Backhand play down the line.
So here is Santander. Singled up the middle, and a ball mishandled by Volpe on the second base side of the bag.
I got to tell you, at this point, Michael, we're in the 3rd inning here. Clark Schmidt has had one of probably the best cutter he's had all year. Location-wise, it's been off the plate in on lefties, off the plate off righties. That's a pitch you don't want to hit the plate.
Base hit through the right side for Santander. He's 2 for 2.
Went away from the cutter and went to the breaking ball, and see it's supposed to be in. That has to reach back into the middle of the plate. That's why the ball's hit hard.
Gets away, but Rortvedt retrieves. Second start for Rortvedt.
I passed him in the tunnel the other day. I mean, he's like a football player. I mean, he's thick. I didn't know much about, his game. He had a great debut in Cincinnati. Some really good at bats. You talk about guys that are trying to learn on the fly. I mean, he has not had a lot of time with these pitchers, and to be able to learn, call games, see where they're comfortable, I mean, that takes a lot of homework.
One and two. This is Mountcastle from last night. Took a high pitch and drove it high and far.
Yeah, he leads the team in home runs with 11. Also leads the team with 32 runs scored. So he's struggled coming into this series, but still power numbers up.
Line in the left field. It's a base hit for Mountcastle. So 2 quick outs followed by 2 quick singles, first and second, and Henderson comes to the plate.
Breaking ball with not a lot of bite on it. You see it just kind of rolls, and it just gives the hitter the ability to see it, adjust to it. There's not a sharp break where it kind of fools you. Michael, I know it's a short series, but I'm really impressed with the way these guys go about hitting. I mean, they've got a solid lineup, and I said last night that it's the time of the year that you start to believe that this is the type of lineup that's going to score runs all year. They just have good at bats.
There's a strike to Henderson.
I mean, when you did that first series in Baltimore, you looked at this team. Did you see a team that would be challenging the American League East?
I didn't think they'd be close to the top. I thought they'd have a similar season to last year where they made a big stride forward. I don't know if they have enough pitching. That's the thing that I think will ultimately get them unless they go out and acquire it.
Right.
But they can hit.
And we've talked about all the #1 picks in this. And it's a credit to the organization because these guys are becoming stars and turn this team around. Remember, they lost 110 games in 2021. The next year, they had a winning record, and that hadn't happened since 1899. So just shows you how big a turnaround it was for the Orioles. $18.99. That's a long time ago, man.
Long time. We weren't even here. Those are the AL East standings. 2-1. So kind of a redux of the first inning. 2 quick outs and then trouble. And Schmidt's already at 63 pitches. Grounded foul. 2-2.
You know, it's funny because Edwin Moscoso behind the plate every once in a while gives you a pitch off the plate. And then as a pitcher, you start to think, okay, now I'm going to get that pitch. But the majority of the borderline pitches, as your scouting report was, have gone to the hitter. And it's kind of fooling the pitchers right now.
And that's the worst thing an umpire could be. You want him to be consistent. If he's not calling the pitch, don't call it. But don't call it once and make people think that they're going to get it again. 2-2.
It's beautiful out here tonight.
It really is nice.
I'm just looking at the clock and I'm thinking we were just sitting here watching a rain delay last night at this time, and now it's just a beautiful night.
Line drive right at Rizzo. And that'll do it. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. 0-0. Well, while we were away, Aaron Boone has been thrown out of the game. He was just in the face of the home plate umpire, Edwin Moscoso. He keeps saying he's missed 4 calls. Now he's talking to the crew chief, Chris Guccione, who had to separate him from Moscoso. They were nose to nose, and now he's going back for more. He's already been thrown out.
Yeah, this is what drives you crazy. The umpires can walk away, but you can't walk away, or you can't do certain things as a player or a manager. And Aaron Boone is just questioning, you know, there has been a lot of borderline calls that are not going Clark Schmidt's way. They have immediate access to video now, so you can call, you can see balls and strikes.
I think his argument is more so the inconsistency, because when they were complaining in the first inning, according to the box that we have on screen, those were balls that, you know, the Yankees thought were strikes, but sometimes they're strikes in other innings and other pitches. I think that's what they're complaining about.
Well, there was one at bat in the first inning, and James and I were looking at that. You know, 3 borderline pitches all went the Orioles' way.
This is right before he was thrown out. And they threw him out. You can read his lips. 4 strikes. You call 4 balls. Now Moscoso kind of wiped his face as if there was some spittle that got on him, and that's why he turned away. But Boone was fired up. And I think he got more upset when Moscoso turned away. So 2-0 count on Oswaldo Cabrera. He just said, "You spit on my face." And that's when Guccione got there, because it was getting heated. 2-1. Ground ball. 1 away. That's the 4th time Aaron Boone has been thrown out this season. Here's Ben Rortvedt. Those is his numbers at AAA. He's 2 for 5 here in the big leagues since Trevino went on the IL. Rortvedt part of the deal with the Twins that sent Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez to Minnesota and brought Josh Donaldson, IKF, and Rortvedt back to the Yanks. Rortvedt very good naturedly handled the fact that, Yankee fans have been saying, does Ben Rortvedt even exist? And he didn't get angry at it. He kind of laughed at it. He said, yeah, I understand because he's been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But he had 2 hits in Cincinnati, so he exists.
Yeah, he had a great debut. I mean, he called a good game. They actually won the game. He had a couple big hits.
Three and one on the lefty swinging catcher. Now, I was talking to Tanner Swanson, the great catching coach of the Yankees, and I asked him a question that somebody asked me. And I wanted to see if he had an answer. I said, why are there no left-handed catchers? And he said, there is absolutely no reason why. He said, I just think that people think that a lefty can't catch, and so in Little Leagues, they just don't have kids catch that are left-handed.
Yeah, I mean, historically, it was because it was always a harder throw with the majority of the hitters being right-handed that you had to deal with that throw into second base or even worse, third base. But it's, I never really understood it either because obviously there are some left-handers that are built to be catchers, and just because you're left-handed should not take a position away from you.
He said that his dad was a left-handed catcher in the minors.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. He said, but you don't see it now because youth coaches don't do it. Well, you're left-handed, you can't catch. He said there's no negative to having a lefty behind the plate. Last lefty catcher in the majors, you might remember the name, Benny DiStefano in 1989 with the Pirates.
And it is such an advantage, Rortvedt beating a left-handed hitter. You look at Trevino on his way back, but it gives Aaron Boone an opportunity against a really tough right-hander to get another left-handed bat in there.
And the thing that really made me think of it, I was at my son's Little League game.
Yeah.
And one of the kids behind the plate was left-handed. And his father said, gee, I'm so sorry he's left-handed. He loves to catch. I said, he can catch left-handed.
Did you tell him the whole story?
Yeah, I did. Allen lost one to left field. Long run for Hayes toward the line. He makes the play. Covered a lot of ground as Rortvedt heads back to first.
Yeah, Hayes does. He plays a good left field. And again, I continually go back to that play he made last night with Anthony Rizzo where the ball did not get by him. Or that ball would have gone to the wall, cleared the bases, and been a different ball game. So it's one thing, especially when Mullins is in center field. I mean, they can catch the ball. They play good defense. Their lineup's going to score runs. But I do agree with you, Michael. There is a question mark about their starting pitching.
Inside. Paul, let's check out the Genesis hitter scouting report on Glaber.
Well, 2 home runs last night. He can be a streaky hitter. Is this another start of a streak? We'll have to wait to see. The walks are up. He's gone from 7% to 12%, which he's actually walked 25 times in 50 games this year. When you do that, your strikeouts are down. Most in the major leagues this year.
High fly ball. Hayes puts it away and left, and that'll do it for the Yankees in the third. 3 in the books, no score. Congratulations to the Duarte family. Matt Duarte heads up the business development and strategy team at Yes. He's a great guy. He and his wife Jen welcomed a baby boy yesterday. Welcome to the Yes family, Tommy. Matt, now your work starts.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You can tell that's not an O'Neill. Our kids are bald. That kid
That is a lot of hair. One and one on Austin Hayes as we start the fourth inning. Fly ball to Judge. One out. Also, I would like to send out birthday wishes to our tremendous graphics coordinator, Sean Sullivan. It's his birthday today, and he does a great job, and he expects gifts from all of us.
Is that right?
That's what he said, yep. Check swing. Foul ball off the bat of O'Hearn.
I'm thinking what we can pick up here, Michael. Now, you should have told me on the way to the ballpark. I mean,
right.
Maybe the giveaway for tomorrow. How about
the hoodie?
The short sleeve hoodie. Maybe we could throw one of those together. Huh?
Would that really be a gift if we don't pay for it?
Well, he doesn't know that. Maybe we can chip in. Meredith, you got a couple dollars back there you could help with, don't you?
I mean, I sure do, and I love Sean Sullivan. He does a tremendous job, but something tells me your bank account looks a little different than my bank account.
But you want to be part of the party, Meredith. It's just you got to chip in to feel part of it.
I happily will chip in.
All right.
To get somebody to run across the street, get a nice little cake.
Now, see, that's the difference between you and Michael. He would chip in, but he won't happily chip in. You got to pull it out of his pocket.
Wow.
It's just the way it is.
He's making up this narrative that's not true.
For someone that works as hard as Sean Sullivan, we all should be chipping in willingly.
You know, let's be honest. A birthday's not such a big deal. Everybody has them.
Yeah.
It's
once
not
a year,
that big
too.
a deal. Yeah. Everybody every day has birthdays.
Well, it's a bad program when you don't anymore, right?
That's right.
And Paul, see, he's just trying to get out of chipping in. That's what's happening here. He's trying to normalize it too much.
Yes.
Meredith, he's talking about chipping in. He's asking to get a giveaway and give it to him. Who's chipping in? The Yankees?
I mean, the front row of this booth is a disaster right now. An absolute disaster. Sean, we got you.
2-2. Fouled away.
Again, to this point, Clark Schmidt, I mean, I think for a while there he got in a lot of trouble leaning on that cutter. Tonight he has had control to both sides of the plate with his cut fastball. That's a good thing.
You know, you look at Clark, and he has good stuff. I mean, he was a first-round draft pick by the Yankees.
Right.
But the pitch counts build because with two strikes, it doesn't seem like he's able to put them away, and they foul each pitch off and build up the count. He eventually will get him out, but it's just like it takes a while.
I never understood. A lot of pitchers have the ability to get 0-2, 1-2, but just don't have that pitch to just put people away. I don't know if he just relies on his curveball so much with two strikes, or he doesn't mix it up enough by surprising people with an inside fastball. But there are a ton of pitchers that are able to get ahead in the count and not put away hitters.
29 pitch first inning. That's why he's at 77 now with 2 outs in the fourth. So here's Ryan McKenna. 1-0.
Well, you look at 78 pitches, but still a 0 on the board for the Orioles. And, ever since that first inning, he's been really sharp. He's made some big pitches when he needed to.
1-1. Judge is there. Nice easy 1-2-3 inning for Clark Schmidt. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 0-0. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. You'll like this one. Aaron Judge and Gus. How about Gus, huh? Gus Judge.
It's about as relaxed as I've seen Aaron Judge on a field, right? Wow.
Now that's just all-time cute right there.
Some dogs are just luckier than others. I mean, this dog gets to run around Yankee Stadium. Are you kidding me?
And his dad's up at the plate right now. Ground ball to Mateo. Well, I've got a dog now. First dog since I was a kid.
Is that right?
And they kind of grab your heart.
Oh, they're a big part of your family, no doubt about it.
Butter K.
Butter K.
The third child. Probably the best behaved.
Just
Now, guys, Gus has a big sister that looks just like him named Penny, and they tend to travel on some road trips. See him walking around the lobby, going around the block. Big offseason for Aaron Judge. Not only did he secure that lucrative contract to keep him a Yankee for a long time, he also added Gus to the family. And rumor has it that was his first trip to Yankee Stadium yesterday.
So Penny Judge has been here.
Penny has indeed been here in the past.
And Penny's the friend with Rizzo's dog, Kevin.
Yes, that's Kevin. If you'd like me to make a chart for you next time, Michael, I'd happily.
It would help. It would help.
family tree going here. You notice this series, the Orioles have really pounded the upper part of the strike zone against Rizzo. I mean, he has been so good at getting to the ball inside, covering the ball away down. And they've really pitched him up in the strike zone.
Outside.
I remember Gene Michael telling me one of the most, and I'm sure I've told you this, Mike, one of the most important things, and it just like I never even thought about it. He says you have to know what scouts are in the stands in certain series. And I said, what does that matter? And he says, if you're on fire this series and you're being scouted, the next series, they are not going to pitch you the same way. Now, if you have a horrible series, say you can't get to the ball inside, you can bet that next series they're going to pitch you inside. So knowing what scouts are scouting you for the next series or after that, and depending on what you do with it, makes a big difference.
High fly ball, right center. Santander makes the play.
Makes sense.
Gene Michael was a pretty smart dude.
Yeah, he was.
And a great guy.
Loved it. I think he might have been Mr. Steinbrenner's most trusted guy. I mean, Mr. Stein let him do what he wanted to do and trusted his judgment on players, on how to get players, on who to bring together to win.
The best thing I ever heard about Gene Michael, and a lot of people have told me this, is he never did anything to bring a spotlight to himself. It was all about the Yankees. He just cared about the Yankees, and it wasn't about making Gene Michael look good. He made the trade for you.
Yeah,
changed your life.
It's the first phone call I got from the Yankees was from Gene Michael. After I got a recording on the answering service. That shows you how long ago. Yeah, that's another guy that kind of changed our lives, and that's Mr. Joe Torre.
Did you see him today, or you just?
I did not. No, I was not on the field before the game today. James and I had a lot of work to do up.
I know. I could tell you spitting out facts. 2-1 on Bader. Three and 1 on Harrison. He struck out in the second inning.
Should just run down there and just sit next to Jones. Hey, Skip, what's up? He wouldn't know what to say.
3-2. There's ball 4. Bader wasn't quite sure if he should go toward first.
Yeah, that's that 50-50 call, and it's been called a strike, and it's kind of been called a ball, and I think that was the big issue with Aaron Boone. You know, if you're going to call it one time, you got to call it all the time.
There's Willie Calhoun. Pitches high. 1-0. I wonder if Joe Torre could sit there and watch a game and not manage in his head. I wonder if you can sit up here and not hit in your head. Because it's hard for me now to watch broadcast and not broadcast or critique what's going on.
Say what you would have
Yeah.
said. I mean, I'm so far away from the game now. I remember at bats. I remember certain situations. But on a daily thing sitting here, you know, there'll be little blips and memories that, you know, you remember pitches certain times, especially in big situations. But, you know, you're much more of just a fan now because the game has changed, and you can't help but just, you know, kind of marvel over Aaron Judge and Stanton and some of the guys that just do things that, you know, they're just better.
Paul, you know what you have to do next inning? After he hangs up, call him, see if he picks up. If he looks and says Paul O'Neill and doesn't pick up. Runner goes, throw to second, not in time. Mateo's running out the field as if to say the call is wrong. We'll see if the Orioles challenge. So they will not, so Mateo was wrong. Bang, bang.
Well, Harrison Bader starting to get into the running game a little bit. He's got good wheels, no doubt about it. His 4th of the year.
And the 3-1. Calhoun walks. First inning for the Yankees with 2 runners on. Runner at second is their first one in scoring position, and that brings out the pitching coach, Chris Holt.
Spectrum One is fast, secure, and reliable. Internet for $49.99 a month. Free advanced Wi-Fi and a free mobile line. Restrictions apply. Visit Spectrum.com for details.
So conference on the mound as Anthony Volpe awaits Kyle Gibson. You know, we just showed that shot of your number 21. Those are the same 2 guys that were standing there last time we showed it a couple of weeks ago. Did you hire them?
Yeah, they're trying to block me out up there. I love it.
No one can walk in front. That's a pretty cool thing, my friend.
You know what? You don't have to tell me. I still, every once in a while, kind of pinch myself.
First and second, 2 outs. Here's Volpe. Bader dancing off second base. 1-0. It is amazing what speed does and how it distracts a pitcher. Even if a guy doesn't go, you are taking some of the concentration away from the guy at the plate.
And this is a big situation. Yankees have not had opportunities. Gibson's done a good job. Big at bat here for Volpe.
Grounded foul. I was wondering this. Did you get better bats as you got more established? Like when you were a rookie, were your bats not as good?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were certain times, and Chuck Shupp was the rep for Louisville Slugger, and he knew I liked the wide grain. And the more you get to know him as a friend, you would get bat boxes of just beautiful bats.
Fake throw to second. Bader dives back. 2-1.
That's really the pitch. You look early in the season and now that Volpe has started to see a lot more and lay off a lot more, and that's that ball away off the plate.
3-1. Oswaldo Cabrera's on deck.
And these are the different at-bats from the minor leagues to the major leagues. I mean, you still cannot just sit on a fastball right down the middle if you're Volpe, even in a big situation here with 2 outs.
Grounded up the middle. Mateo there, steps on the bag, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, and 2 men left on base.
I'm calling right now, Michael. That was fun.
Top of the 5th outing, scoreboard nothing, but between innings, wow. I mean, Paul, your pride was on the line. You called your manager, the guy you won 4 championships with, and it looked like he was going to blow you off.
I was upset because I would have never heard at the end.
But he did pick up. You FaceTimed him. Should I pick this up? Mateo with a fly ball to center. Gave it a ride, but Bader puts it away. Out number 1. So I didn't pick up the first time. Now you called another number. Like probably telling the guy next to him, what does this guy want?
This clown want?
At this point, Paul's heart is in his mouth.
When he finally answered, I said, "You better answer, Skip. I will talk about you. I got a microphone now."
And not only did you called him, but you FaceTimed him.
Exactly. I thought that was more.
There he is. Good stuff. 0-2 on Frazier. We're in the 5th inning. The Yankees have 1 hit. The Orioles have 3. Punch the other way. It's a fair ball inside the left field line. Kicks off the side wall. Frazier is hustling for 2. He'll get there as Allen retrieves and flips in. So kind of a served double down the left field line by Adam Frazier.
And Michael, I don't think it should be lost on that FaceTime. Paul, he looked genuinely happy to be receiving that call. Huge smile on his face, Michael.
Like I said, I think that he was a little confused. What in the world is this guy calling me for?
Michael, you want to try it next inning?
You know what? I thought I was looking for the number. I couldn't find it.
Man's trying to watch a ball game, and we're up here playing giggles with him.
Joe and I are in a very good place. It's much better when I had to ask him those questions after the game like you do, Meredith. Yeah. You know, that could be a little bit tough.
You know, it's touch and go sometimes, but I think we're good.
The 0-1. Served out to left field. Allen puts it away. 2 outs.
And again, the way this game is going, Michael, these are such big outs, these innings with runners in scoring position. Now you've got 2 outs. If you're Clark Schmidt, you have pitched your way out of a couple jams. And again, when you have not given up runs and you're at 0-0, these are the outs that, you know, can make or break the game. Yeah, see, that's a dangerous pitch to me, that cutter. He's been so good with it today. Tandar, a couple hits on the night. But that ball right there ends up in the middle of the plate. That's the ball that really gets hit hard if he continues to miss with it.
Now, the Orioles lineup is without one of their more dangerous players, Cedric Mullins. Not just a day off, but Brandon Hyde said before the game that Mullins is not in there for, quote, personal reasons. So I don't know if he's available to come off the bench. He's not in the lineup.
You know, again, the pitch before, the two, 1-1, it was a borderline pitch, could have gone either way. And in these big situations, that has not gone Schmidt's way. And now, you throw a bad pitch, and now you're 3-1.
Ripped down the right field line into the second deck foul.
That actually shows a pitcher that they've thrown the pitch correct. The down and in. If it's hit hard, it's going foul. You got a 3-2 pitch. Do you go back to that cutter or the sweeper in?
Santander 2 hits against Schmidt tonight. 3-2. Grounded and past the diving Rizzo into right field. Frazier rounds third. He's coming home. Here's the throw. He's in there. It's an RBI single for Santander, and it's 1-0 O's.
That ball hit hard. We'll see if Rizzo got to it or if it got by him. Again, ball's supposed to be in. It ends up away. Allows Santander to get his arms extended. You see Rizzo try to knock that ball down. It makes it into right field, just out of his reach.
Jimmy Cordero is up in the Yankee bullpen. 93 pitches for Schmidt, and a trip to the mound for the pitching coach, Matt Blake. There was some talk yesterday, Paul, about why would you push Cortez to the 7th inning. And every single game throughout a week is interconnected with the others. I mean, because of Domingo Germán getting suspended, the Yankees are starter short, and they can't replace that starter per se. So tomorrow essentially is a bullpen game. And then you have Luis Severino pitching on Saturday. He's still on a pitch limit. You're going to have to maybe get 12 outs out of the bullpen again, and then Garrett Cole pitches on Sunday. You hope you get a long outing out of him, but you've got to squeeze out, steal outs out of your pitchers. Your starters have to go a little bit longer.
Yeah, there's just no question last night. I mean, Lester Cortez was in total control, and it happened so quick that there was no time. And then, the big at bat with the lefty off the foul pole. I mean, should he face that lefty? Absolutely, because he's been so successful against lefties this year. It was just a weird sequence, and it happened so quick that you really couldn't adjust to it.
I mean, and after 7 innings or 6 innings, he's thrown 77 pitches. There's no reason to even think about taking him out. I know there's a rule. You don't like somebody facing somebody third time through the order, but in the previous inning, he struck out 2 of the guys he faced for the 3rd time.
I think the previous inning, he struck out 3 people.
Yes, he did. He struck out Ortiz to start off the inning. And then Mullins, the 3rd time he faced him. Then a single by Rushman, and he struck out Mountcastle 3rd time he faced him. One and 2 on Mountcastle. He's walked and singled tonight. 1-0 Orioles. Swing and a miss. Punches out Mountcastle for the final out. But 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left. We're halfway through. 1-0 O's. Joe Torre is on the center field board here at the stadium. Since 2003, players have recorded 150 or more ribbies in a single season. Who are they? Tweet your answer using hashtag YesNetworkTrivia. Here's Oswaldo Cabrera.
I know Juan Gonzalez did that one year, but that was in the 90s, I think. I can think of one, Michael.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying.
That surprises me.
Ground ball to first. You have too much faith in me, Paul. One away.
I'm going to give you a big hint, Mike.
All right.
Basically give you the answer, but I mean, you do a television show with it.
Oh, yeah, I think I know that one.
Yeah. Chances are he's a pretty good player in his day, too, right?
That's one. Gonzalez had 157 in 98.
Yeah, I think he had 100 at the All-Star break. I remember going to that All-Star game and looking across the field and thinking, well, this guy's got 100 RBIs already. Wow.
There's a strike to Ben Rortvedt. Oh, and 2. Really good performance by Gibson, who, Paul detailed on the scouting report, has never had much success against the Yankees. A 7.14 ERA. That's in 11 games, 10 starts. A 1-6 record. They've always hit him very well. 3-2.
Yeah, he's really mixed up things. He got a couple double plays when he needed them, and then, he's pitched up in the zone, down in the zone, to use his breaking ball. I mean, it is what as advertised. I mean, he's not going to overpower you. Usually you get yourself out against pitchers like this.
Now he has walked Rortvedt for the second time. And that brings up Greg Allen. 1 hit and 2 at bats so far since being acquired by the Yanks. One 0 Orioles. We're on the bottom of the 5th. Lofted to left field. Hayes. 2 outs. Well, fans, go to @YesNetwork on Twitter and vote for the Montefiore Einstein Player of the Week. Is it number 1, Aaron Judge? Number 2, the guy coming to the plate, Gleyber Torres, or number 3, Anthony Rizzo?
You know what Gibson's done tonight, Michael? When you look at it, it's the guys that don't have a ton of power. He doesn't mind fly balls. The guys that have the power, Rizzo, Judge, he's kept on the ground, and that's just knowing how to pitch. 4-seamers up to the little guys, sinkers down and away, cutters, sliders to the guys that can take them deep.
So I just, between innings, texted down to Joe. I said, I don't want to annoy you by O'Neill, but I wanted to say hello. And so he writes back, he said, has he kicked any water bottles up there? I said, no, he's being good. Ground ball. Mateo flips to second, and that'll do it. We played 5 here at the stadium. Orioles 1, Yankees nothing. We go around the majors. Bryce Miller, first 5 career starts this season. This is easy. 3-1, 1.15. They're hitting 123 against him. Carlos Correa dealing with injuries to the left heel and foot, hoping to avoid the IL. And Mike Trout hit his 362nd career home run last night, passing Joe DiMaggio for 85th on the all-time list. Nick Ramirez comes on in relief of Clark Schmidt and deals a strike to Gunnar Henderson.
You saw this move last night. Aaron Boone brought with 2 outs, brought in a lefty, but his splits are so far apart. Henderson against lefties that it almost forces you as a manager to make this. You need outs in a 1-0 game somehow, some way. You got to get Henderson to face a lefty.
Sure, the Yankees are hoping that Hyde countered and sent up a righty, but Hyde figures I'm going to see lefties or righties out of that bullpen, so why should I take this guy out? Henderson hits 127 against lefties and 259 against righties.
Yeah. A big pitch right here. Ramirez has to know those numbers, has to know that he was brought in to get this first out and then move on from there, but you have to put Henderson away here.
Soft ground ball. That's going to be a base hit. So Henderson against the lefty picks up a single. He's going to tell everybody it was a line drive.
Well, this was absolutely just a bad break from Ramirez. Good pitch in. Jammed him. 16 hopper. Rizzo cannot get back to first base. Tries to just scoop it over there. But Henderson runs well. No chance.
Now a threat to go. Henderson 4 for 8 in the series so far against the Yanks.
Yeah, he came in struggling, but again, last night off the bench, that big double, pinch hit double that really broke things open. And he does run well. Only 1 stolen base on the year, but definitely capable.
Good changeup by Ramirez. So once again, Boone and his staff have to somehow get 12 outs out of the bullpen. That's a lot to ask almost every night. 1-2. Now, I was talking about this earlier, Paul, but the way the game is designed now, you expect to get 5 innings out of your starter. It used to be derogatory when you'd say, well, guy's a 5-and-fly guy. Well, now everybody, anything more than 5 seems like a gift. And when you do that, you're pretty much asking 4 relievers to have a really good night in a row.
Yep. And that's the way the bullpens are set up, though. I mean, your better arms now are in the bullpen. The Yankees in pretty good shape. I would imagine. I mean, Clay Holmes has not pitched in numerous days, but I think all 4 of your big arms are possibly available tonight. And Peralta, King, Marinaccio, and Holmes.
Left field. Allen is there to make the play. Henderson heads back to first. There's the budget. So Cordero was up earlier, so he's available despite throwing 26 yesterday. Ramirez also threw 20 yesterday. He's in there. So as you said, Paul, everybody should be good to go.
And Michael, you and Paul had mentioned earlier how overall just this bullpen has been up against it, especially considering that Domingo Germán is still out with that suspension. Well, we have a little bit more clarity as far as what might happen tomorrow. Prospect Randy Vasquez will see some time, whether it be as a traditional starter or as a bulk guy out of the bullpen. Aaron Boone said you'll see him in some way, shape, or form. He's currently on the taxi squad. He was in the clubhouse earlier today, not on the active roster, but he's a guy that is very much looking forward to the opportunity. They signed him when he was just 19 years old out of the Dominican Republic, now 24 years old, and he has not pitched for the Rail Riders since the 17th, so certainly can provide some length. According to Baseball America, the number 9 overall prospect in the Yankee system, 3rd-ranked pitching prospect. Should be a fun watch.
1-1. You know what I found amazing, Meredith? He has never, ever seen a major league game in person before tonight, and now he's going to start tomorrow. Well, I mean, it's still up in the air. They could go bulk and go with an opener first. But he's pitching tomorrow.
He's sitting on the bench kind of looking around, just enjoying things tonight. His first major league game in person.
Mm-hmm.
And, guys, the craziest thing is when he got called up here, he was essentially told, as that one goes into center field.
Henderson stays put.
He was told that they weren't necessarily sure what his role was going to be. He was going to be on the taxi squad. A little after he got here, he was called in Aaron Boone's office and said, you're going to be pitching tomorrow in some way, shape, or form. So imagine coming here not really knowing what to expect, and then shortly after your arrival at Yankee Stadium, you find out you are indeed going to get the ball. Should be a nice moment for him. He said he doesn't think anyone from his dad's side of the family is going to be able to get here, but he's hopeful that maybe some folks from his mom's side of the family will be able to make it.
So Henderson steals second. The 2-2 to O'Hearn. Grounded to first. Ramirez covering first. The throw from Rizzo is dropped. Throw home as Henderson stays put at third.
Well, it's amazing how much you see, and it's just not gloved, and pitchers go through this thousands of times in spring training over and over again. PFP practice, good throw by Rizzo, but extra outs given to the Orioles is dangerous.
Well, now first and third, they're trying to keep it right here. Orioles lead 1-0, so Ramirez gives the ball up, and they call on Cordero to face McKenna. Brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. And by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. We were mentioning, getting 12 outs out of the bullpen. And you see Jimmy Cordero's numbers that went up last night because of a rare bad outing. The major league average this year for starters is 5.21 innings. That's not even 5 1/3 innings. It's all around baseball because that's how pitchers are taught now.
Yep.
We don't want you to go third time through the order. That's why Garrett Cole is so highly paid, because he gives you length. A bunt. It's a safety squeeze, and it kicks foul. So McKenna tried to get him home with the safety squeeze.
I think Brandon Hyde realizes the importance of this run right here. Just trying to somehow steal a run here. Again, Henderson runs well. If this ball's fair, there's no chance.
Another bunt attempt that's high, though. He takes it. These are safeties, not suicides. Suicides are when the runner is going at third and the batter has to get the bunt down. Safety, the bunt gets down, then the runner comes. Less pressure on the batter.
Mm-hmm.
Up the middle, Volpe. There's one. And there's two. 6-6-3 double play as Cordero gets out of a jam. No runs, a hit, one error, and one man left on base. Volpe gets the grounder, steps on the bag, and fires a strike to first. Game when it started, courtesy of FanDuel. The numbers can change with every pitch, so now let's see what the live total is at this very moment. Right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to start making every moment more. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning here in the Bronx. 1-0 Orioles. Yankees have been held to just one hit. A leadoff single in the first by Gleyber Torres. Here's Aaron Judge. That one is ripped to center field. McKenna right there and gets it. One pitch, one out.
Again, this is the meat of the order, and a quick out. Aaron Judge hits it hard, but nothing to show for it. But Gibson somehow, some way has kept the Yankees off balance all night. You got Anthony Rizzo again. See if they continue to pound him up in the strike zone.
1-0 on Rizzo. Wandy Peralta heating up. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0. Orioles. Fouled away into the second deck, third base side. That's off of Gibson. He scrambles after it, and he'll get Rizzo for the second out. All right, so here's the answer to the trivia question. Since 2003, players have recorded 150 or more ribbies in a single season. So you think it's A-Rod? I think Cabrera, Miguel Cabrera.
Miggy?
Miguel Tejada.
Oh, wow.
Sammy Sosa, wow. Wouldn't have gotten those. Here's Harrison Bader. 1-0.
James, what was some Hack Wilson? Wasn't that the most RBI? Something was it? 191? Okay.
Really? Couldn't get the other 9?
Pretty good year. Huh?
Foul back. Miguel Cabrera's high was 139 in 2012. And by the way, it's Miguel Tejada's 49th birthday today. Fly ball, shallow right center. Nice play by Frazier, drifting back. Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. They're being befuddled by Kyle Gibson. Well, kick off your Memorial Day weekend at Yankee Stadium this Friday, May 26th, when the Yankees play the Padres. First 18,000 guests, 21 and older, will receive a Yankees short-sleeve hoodie, courtesy of Budweiser. Get your tickets today at Yankees.com. So I was reading this today, Paul, and I mean how times have changed. You go back to 1922. Babe Ruth was called out trying to stretch a single into a double.
Yeah.
He's called out. He's arguing with the umpire, George Hillenbrand, throws dirt on him, gets thrown out of the game. Then he goes off on a heckler in the stands and stands on the top of the dugout and calls all the people in the crowd cowards. 1 game suspension, $200 fine.
$200?
Yeah.
That'd be worth the price of admission to see Babe calling the whole stands out, huh?
But the only thing that really cost him was it cost him the Yankee captainship.
Oh, yeah.
He was the Yankee captain for 5 days, and they said, "You're calling out heckler standing on the dugout. We can't have this."
Cordero with that good sinker at 97. Ended the last inning with a really good sinker. Yeah, I think that's why Brandon Hyde was trying to bunt that runner in, knowing that it's hard to get Cordero in the air. Ended up in a double play and a big one for the Yankees.
2-2. Three and two. So odd to see yesterday Cordero not have it because he's been so good for the Yankees this year. What a find. Very reliable. Aaron Boone has used him in higher leverage situations. Strike three, Mateo down looking. He didn't like the call. Edwin Moscoso's not getting a lot of love from either side.
No, he's been a little inconsistent as far as, calling all the same pitches, balls, or strikes. Again, this is kind of the flip of the coin. That ball right at the bottom of the zone, 97.
See, I think a top seam got the strike zone. Just one little lace. Yeah. Adam Frazier, top of the lineup, 1 out. 1-0. Two and 0. Now, if you were at the plate and the crowd was doing the wave, would that distract you?
Couldn't even hear it.
Really?
No, really couldn't even hear it. I mean, you're so, you're visualizing, you're thinking, you're involved in your at bat. Really, those kind of things did not bother you as a hitter. I mean, World Series crowd noise on an away game, sure, you can't block that out. But things like this, no.
Three and two. Payoff. Grounded and knocked down by Rizzo. And he fires to Cordero, drops the ball. Second time tonight. Ramirez once, Cordero that time. That was a little tougher than the one Ramirez dropped, but still catchable.
I mean, right on the money. And Anthony Rizzo has a tendency, I mean, he doesn't underhand it to the pitchers, and I think it almost surprises us sometimes. He had plenty of time, but the ball's right on the money. I mean, the ball's got to be caught as a pitcher. Cordero there in plenty of time. Ball was hit so hard that Rizzo had plenty of time to recoup. And, I mean, there's nothing else he can do other than put it on the money and expect your pitcher to catch it.
Well, that'll do it for Cordero. They're bringing in Wandy to face Rushman. 1-0 Orioles, top of the 7th. Hyundai thanks those who nominate an everyday hero in the Hyundai Salute to Heroes contest. One lucky hero will win a brand new 2023 Tucson. Winner will be announced soon. Madison Square Garden and the Empire State Building, the greatest city in the world. Here in the Bronx, Wandy Peralta will come on. Frazier reaches on the E1, second E1 in as many innings.
Michael, you were talking about that story about Babe Ruth on top of the dugout and stuff, and there is a connection. Babe Ruth started his career with the Baltimore Orioles back in 1914, only played half a season. But, you got to start somewhere, right?
And was born in Baltimore.
That Babe Ruth Museum. I'm sure you've been through it behind the stadium there at Camden Yards. Always interesting. I used to walk to the ballpark because we stayed down there in the harbor, and I would intentionally walk through there just to see some of the stuff.
I mean, I don't know if it's legend or apocryphal, but they say that Babe Ruth's dad owned a tavern that would have been in the middle in center field at Camden Yards.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Because I've seen the picture of Babe with like the apron on. He was like tending bar at his father's bar.
And Rushman bangs into a 6-6-3 double play. No runs, no hits, one error, and nobody left on base. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. It's the Orioles 1, Yankees nothing, but we'll stay right here as they honor America in the Bronx.
and gentlemen, will you rise and remove your caps? Please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Army Specialist James Clemente from Tarrytown, New York, who served in the Vietnam War. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America. Stretch time. So please join in and sing along as Yankee Stadium organist Paul Cartier plays Take.
For the Orioles, Yankees with a leadoff single by Gleyber Torres in the first. They have not had a hit since. They've committed 2 errors. Gibson's been great. Santander drove in the only run. Schmidt went 5. Yankee offense, 3rd time this season, 1 hit through 6 innings. Kyle Gibson still in there. Willie Calhoun leads off the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-0 Orioles. 1-0.
You know, Michael, pitchers go through streaks just like hitters do. They get hot, and then they struggle, then they get hot. And we talked about Gibson, his last outing, you know, being his best of the year.
There's a base hit. Willie Calhoun clicks one to right field. So a leadoff single.
He's been on top of his game today. What a way to start the 7th. Calhoun laces one to right. Change up in the strike zone. He has not missed with that ball much today. Everything's been down, out of the strike zone with the change up. Calhoun stays through it. See how level his swing is.
Runner on first. Here's Anthony Volpe. Starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike. Leonel Perez is up. Tipped into the glove of Rushman, 0-2. Gibson at 88 pitches. Tap foul.
You know, you got to remember as a hitter, how good Gibson is at keeping the ball in the infield on the ground. We talked about he leads the American League in double play balls, and it's just important to make sure that ball is up in the strike zone if it's a sinker.
Swing and a miss. Volpe down on strikes. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Most everybody in the lineup is 0 for something. So 1 down.
Good movement down and in. Kind of ties him, trying to pull those hands in to get to it. Doesn't quite get there.
Here's Oswaldo Cabrera. Switcher to batting from the left side, 1-0. Tonight, Cabrera's 0 for 2, grounded to second and grounded to first. Now Baumann, who we saw yesterday, he's warming alongside Perez. One and one.
Now again, I mean, that ball right there has not been called. That ball's off the plate a little bit, and the difference of 2-0 and 1-1, that is a big difference in a hitter's eye.
Slice the other way, down the line, and it's foul.
Boy, that had trouble written all over it off the bat. Just could not keep it fair.
Check out and follow Yes Network on TikTok for more content. Inside, 2-2. Work bet is on deck. Calhoun at first with one out. 2-2 count on Oswaldo Cabrera. Count is full. Not sure you could send Calhoun here because Cabrera does strike out. Probably stays put.
Yeah, he's in a position where, you know, he's trying to force himself to get hot. And as a hitter, you can become a little anxious. So that was a really good take right there. Veteran pitcher Gibson. Change up a little bit out of the strike zone.
Grounded to first. There's one. Back to first. It's a double play with Gibson covering. 3-6-1 to end the seventh. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We played 7 full here in the Bronx. It's the Orioles leading the Yankees 1-0. Now let's stay right here. Looks like the Yankees are going to challenge that play at first base. When we saw the replay, it did seem as if the foot came down before the ball entered the glove of Gibson. Take a closer look. It's close, right?
It is close. You know, if he was called safe, you know, you got to remember, it's when the ball enters the glove, not when it hits the pocket. Like I said, if he was called safe here, I don't know if they'd overturn it, and I don't know if there's enough to overturn it now.
I think it's a good challenge. Might as well take your shot.
And take him home with you, right?
Yep. So it's either a inning-ending 3-6-1 double play or a fielder's choice 3-6. Runner at first, 2 outs.
Well, the important thing is, if it is overturned, is Cabrera can run, so it could possibly be a stolen base opportunity. But it's just, it's so close. But you got to remember, he was called out on the play.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is out. New York will lose their challenge.
As Paul said, if it was safe, it wouldn't have been overturned. It was out. It wasn't going to get overturned. It was that close. The next game on Yes is Saturday afternoon as the Yankees host Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr., and the San Diego Padres. Coverage begins at noon with Audi batting practice and the pregame. Then we're back with the first pitch just after 1 on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. Game 1 of the San Diego series is tomorrow night exclusively on Apple TV+. So Yes, we'll have post-game coverage after the final out. Wandy throws one all the way to the backstop as we start the 8th inning. He's got a little grin on his face.
That might have been the worst pitch Wandy's he's ever thrown in his major league career. Just totally lost her grip and just let her fly.
Two and 0 to Santander. He is 3 for 3, and he's driven on the only run in the game. A 2-out single, just past a diving Rizzo into right field, scoring Adam Frazier from second. 3-0. Four straight out of the zone, and Santander reaches for the 4th time tonight. Here's Ryan Mountcastle. Walked, singled, and struck out. Orioles have 6 hits. The Yankees have 2. Orioles have a 1-0 lead top of the 8th. 5 straight out of the zone for Peralta. There's a strike. 1-1. Bottom of the 8th inning, it'll be 8-9-1 for the Yankees. So Rortvedt, Allen, and Torres, if anybody gets on Judge.
Wandy really needed to get that strike with a fastball, so he can set up trying to get that sinker or the changeup to get Mountcastle on the ground.
Got Rushman to bang into a double play to get out of the 7th inning. There's that change, 2-2. Still 2-2. Swing and a miss, got him. Mountcastle down on strikes.
Well, that's one that doesn't register if you're Mountcastle. Fastball, sinker, changeup, and then all of a sudden a slider down and in. Just buried it in there.
Here's Henderson now, again facing a lefty. Against Ramirez in the 6th, slow roller to first base, got a base hit out of it. Abreu and Holmes warming up. Now, Henderson is a big-time prospect. Top prospect in the sport. Baseball America has him number 1. Baseball Prospectus has him number 1. MLB Pipeline has him number 1. It's kind of strange that he, at this point, can't hit lefties.
Yeah, a lot of it. I talked to Jim Palmer a little bit. We had talked about him, and he said he just has not had enough reps against lefties. And, you know, it does come into play. I mean, you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and you know you don't hit them, and you try to force it to get it yourself in the lineup every day.
Rortvedt goes out to talk with Peralta. Doesn't have the greatest command so far this inning, and Matt Blake comes out. The pitching coach will talk with the infield. Now, I remember when you first got to the Yankees, you know, the thing was you couldn't hit left-handers, and Buck would spot you against certain ones, but it was hard for you to hit lefties because you didn't play against them all that often.
And again, I'm talking from experience. When you see a lefty out there and you know that you're not assured every starting day, that, you know, you put pressure on yourself. You try to make your at-bats better. You try to force things. And some lefties are much tougher than others, believe me. But once you get that pat on the back, as you can take care of yourself against lefties, you relax and you hit them like you have your whole career.
Cal Ripken Jr. in a recent piece in The Athletic gave him some advice. He said, trust yourself, let it happen, but don't force it. You've done it everywhere else. This is just a little bit better than AAA. Three and two on the 21-year-old Henderson.
Henderson really stays close against lefties, and that's the first. He doesn't open up and give away the outside corner, but he has trouble getting to the ball inside.
And the pitch. Staying alive. Santander at first with 1 out. We're in the 8th inning, 1-0 O's. And he works a walk. And they have seen enough, as Carlos Mendoza, who's acting as manager after Aaron Boone got thrown out earlier, he's going to go to the bullpen. Doesn't want to take any more chances because Wandy simply does not look as sharp as he usually has. And the command is not there with 2 walks, so he leaves first and second, 1 out. They go to the pen. Weekend, the New York Liberty return to Yes on Sunday, June 4th, as Brianna Stewart and company take on the Chicago Sky. Coverage begins at 2 on Yes and the Yes app, and Stewart scored a franchise record 45 points in the Liberty's big win over the Fever.
I haven't seen them play yet, Michael, but I hear they're pretty good, huh?
They're pretty good. 3 big stars they're put together to win.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Clay Holmes. First and second, 1 man out. Hayes at the plate. And a strike. Big spot in this game. The Yankees have been unable to generate any offense. One and one. Fly ball right field and deep. Going back, Judge. It's gone. No, it hit the top of the wall. They're saying it stayed in the ballpark, but 2 runs will score. It's a double for Hayes, and it's 3-0 Orioles. And they are going to converse and talk about it. Was it touched by a fan? Did it hit the top of the wall? No, that's not a home run.
Yeah, that's top of the wall. But, the bad news is that Clay Holmes threw a sinker up in the strike zone, and it got hammered to right field. And a big 2-run double for Hayes. See, that's not where Clay Holmes wants to be. Some people want to pitch up. Good sinker ball pitchers want to be down, especially trying to enforce, and get a double play. It just did not work out.
Well, they're going to take a look at it, but it's not a home run. My initial thought was it bounced off a fan back onto the field, but it was the top of the wall and then back onto the field. And it's a double. That is a serious blow, a 2-run double. Here's Ryan O'Hearn. So those 2 walks come back to bite the Yankees. 1-0.
Yeah, they really do. When you look at the Henderson walk with Peralta on the mound, lefty against Henderson, who really struggles against lefty, that walk really set things up.
1-1. The double, the 7th hit for the Orioles. They're up 3-0. Soft ground ball, second base. Moving to third is Hayes.
Well, that's a good Clay Holmes sinker right there, and that's what you get. You get the easy ground ball that can be turned into a double play. The ball to Hayes, trying to throw that heavy sinker, ended up high in the strike zone and then off the top of the wall.
Bauman's up. Swing and a miss. Two on McKenna. A walk to Santander, a strikeout of Mountcastle. Then losing Henderson was the big blow. First and second, and that knocked out Wandy. They bring in Clay Holmes. He gives it the double out the top of the wall to Austin Hayes. That's a nice play there by Rortvedt, saving a run.
When you see a catcher bare-hand a ball, I mean, that hurts. That ball got none of the glove, just his open hand, but somehow, some way, he had to stop it. I'd say on the forearm.
Whatever it takes. Three-two. Swing and a miss. Got him. McKenna down on strikes, but the Orioles get 2 big runs on 1 hit. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Experience a fully electric Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer today, and Kyle Gibson's been electric.
Boy, he certainly has. He only had 3 strikeouts, but he's 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs. Completely stymied the offense of the New York Yankees, who coming into tonight has been extremely hot.
Well, tonight, a hit in the first, a hit in the 7th, 1 by Torres, 1 by Calhoun. That's it. Couple of singles. And it's 3-0 Orioles in the rubber game of this 3-game set. So Mike Baumann will take over. Got the win yesterday in that wild and wacky game. More than a strikeout per inning. Jake Bauer is pinch hitting for Rortvedt. Now what you have to hope, Paul, is that Rortvedt didn't hurt his hand on that block, because why would you pinch hit for Rortvedt, who's also a lefty batter.
That ball looked like it actually hit him in the forearm. I think that Jake Bauers is probably a better matchup here. Ball down in the strike zone. That's where he's looking to hit.
Well, looks like he's okay. Just a decision. Bauers is better in this spot than Rortvedt. So Higashioka will take over behind the plate in the 9th inning. Boy, I left a bruise, I'll tell you that. Two and two on the pinch hitter, Jake Bauers. Swing and a miss. Bauers down on strikes.
Ken Bauman stayed up in the strike zone. Bauers wants the ball down. Typical lefty. Just wants to kind of drop the head of the bat in the lower part of the strike zone. Slight uppercut. Can't get to the ball upstairs.
Bauman pitched the 1-2-3 6th inning last night and picked up the win when the Orioles scored the 8 runs in the 7th to overcome a 5-1 deficit. So pitched 1 inning, got himself a victory. Here's Greg Allen, 0-1. One and 1. 3-0 O's. Just a superb performance by Kyle Gibson, who came into the game with an over 7 ERA against the Yankees. Now, you would assume they're not going to use their closer, Felix Bautista. They've used him 2 nights in a row. Yanier Cano is up right now, so they will likely turn to him to try to close the game in the 9th. Cano pitched in the first game, didn't pitch last night. Two and 2. This is the Orioles bullpen budget. Not using Bautista 3 in a row, and they're not using Givens 3 in a row. Swing and a miss on the knuckle curve. Allen down on strikes.
Well, that's just a nasty pitch right there. I mean, with this kind of arm speed, that's a big breaking ball right there.
Here's Gleyber Torres. He has one of the 2 Yankee hits. Bauman has good stuff. 3rd big league season, 27 years old. One and 1. One and 2. Still 2 and 2. On deck, is Aaron Judge. Orioles have some arms in that bullpen. The only thing that you wonder, as we've mentioned throughout the series, if it's good enough for them to really make a run, would be their starting pitching. Their hitting is up there with anybody. Their relief pitching is outstanding. They've got the arms. Popped up and out of play behind the plate. Coming into tonight, the Orioles were 21st in baseball in starting pitching ERA at 4.89 now. That obviously went down with 7 shutout innings by Gibson, but still an issue. 2-2. Broken back, ground ball, Mateo. Baumann retires the Yankees in order 1-2-3. We're going to the 9th inning. Orioles up by 3. We go to the 9th inning of a game the Yankees are trailing 3-0. Albert Abreu comes on for his 20th game of the year. 2-1, 4.01. 26 strikeouts in 24 2/3 innings. Kyle Higashioka takes over behind the plate as Bauer's pinch hit for Rortvedt last inning. So one more time, what the Yankees have to do is use a lot of people out of that pen. 5 relievers, as Clark Schmidt gave them 5 as a starter. Grounded to third, backhanded beautifully by Cabrera, and gets Mateo for the first out.
Well, it's a tough play, ball hit hard, kind of a funky hop, and that's one thing you look at young players. Cabrera not swinging the bat well. Is it going to bleed into his defense? Is it going to, show body language? He still looks confident. He's still making the plays in the field. So you just hope that he turns it around offensively and gets back to where he was last year.
Two 2-0 on Frazier. Two and two. Up the middle, right there, Volpe. He gets Frazier. 2 down here in the 8th. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Rushman takes outside 1-0. One and two. Three 7-0 for Baltimore. 0-2-2 for the Yanks. Fly ball deep left center field. On the run is Bader, and he makes the play. Abreu works a 1-2-3 ninth. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Do the Yankees have a rally in their bones? It'll start with Judge. It's time to check out the exit velocity presented by Spectrum. And this is Austin Hayes. His big double that drove in 2. 103.4 miles per hour off the bat. 2 ribbies for him. A 3-0 lead for the Orioles. So Hayes in left field. Deliver that big blow in the 8th inning. And now they turn it over to Yennier Cano, who's been near untouchable, although the Yankees made him work in the first game of the series.
Yeah, I was surprised. I heard about him, and I had talked to Darren Holmes, who's their assistant pitching coach, obviously, here in 1998 with the Yankees. And he was talking about his story and his progression, how they just kind of changed his arm angle. You know, he has not been a star his whole career, but all of a sudden, you know, he can do some things on the mound. Tremendous changeup, good movement on his fastball.
So here's Judge. Judge 0 for 3 tonight. Yankees have just 2 hits, couple singles. One 1-0. Yankees took 2 out of 3 in Baltimore in April. And the Orioles trying to return the favor here in the Bronx in May. Two-0. There's a strike. Judge with a strikeout, ground ball is short, and fly ball is center. Two and two.
It's been all fastballs. You're 4 consecutive fastballs. All of a sudden, you're 2-2. If you're Aaron Judge, you've got to think that changeup in the back of your mind.
Was a changeup, and it missed. So now the count full. And the pitch. Grounded foul. Yankees trying to rally here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Judge uses his timeout. And the pitch. Outside, he works a walk. That's the first walk that Cano has issued this season.
Well, I think he got a load to the strike zone. First pitch right at the bottom of the zone. And you could tell he was like stunned. He did not get the call. Ends up walking Aaron Judge. Anthony Rizzo, you need one more runner to give Harrison Bader an opportunity in one swing to tie this thing up.
Fouled away. And the pitch. Chopped slowly to second base. They'll take the out at first as Judge advances to second. Good concentration by Frazier. He got blocked out by Judge, but he hung with it, made the play.
You know, in this quick 3-game series, Michael, I have been impressed with the defense from the Orioles. It's not like they give you outs. They make the plays, the good plays. I mean, Mateo has been unbelievable at shortstop. But again, these are tough little plays. If you mess up, a lot of things can happen against you. You give teams extra outs.
Bader takes the fastball strike on the outside corner. Judge, just the second Yankee in scoring position tonight. Bader reached second. That was in the fourth.
And you look up, and it's very surprising. Again, the Yankees have been swinging the bat extremely well. Even last night, 6 runs and a loss, and only 2 hits tonight. And that has a lot to do with the Orioles pitching.
One and 2 on Bader. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Bader down on strikes. And the Yankees down to their final out.
Well, what you notice about Cano, a good fastball, but look at his speed of his arm on his changeup. Nothing changes, nothing to really read as a hitter. Just buries that ball in the palm of his hand, kind of turns it over, and just never gets there.
Here's Willie Calhoun, one of the Yankees' 2 hits. Torres the other. As Paul mentioned, Yankees need one more base runner and they could bring the tying run to the plate, but Calhoun's down 0-1 on the count. Judge at second. 2 men out, bottom of the 9th. One and 1. That one is driven out into right center field. On the run is McKenna. He can't make the play. That'll score Judge. Calhoun will stop at second with an RBI double. Yankees on the board. They're still alive.
Well, Calhoun has had some really good at-bats today. This ball right here, just smoked to right center field. Keeps the Yankees alive. Gives Volpe an opportunity to continue this thing and try to make a big comeback against the Orioles. I thought that was clearly over his head. Actually had a shot catching that ball, but Calhoun again, he's hit the ball hard a couple times tonight.
So that brings us to Anthony Volpe. He is 0 for 3 tonight. 7 home runs on the season. He's the tying run at the plate. 3 1-0s. That one is driven out into right center, but this time McKenna gets there, and that will do it. As the Yankees fall to the Orioles 3-1, and they lose the series 2-1 to the team directly in front of them in the American League East.
Well, you see why they're in front of them. I mean, they're a solid team. Good starting pitching got them to the point where they used their really, really good bullpen. They shut down the Yankees today. Their offense is for real. All of a sudden, I think the Orioles are starting to believe that they can compete with anybody.
Well, the Yankees had won 5 in a row. Now they lose the last 2 games of this series. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up in the post game after that. Orioles 3, Yankees 1.